Hello parents, Dr. Pettinger here. I'm coming to you with some information about what's happening at school in regards to the coronavirus, COVID-19. As you can imagine, things are changing by the hour and sometimes by the minute. This is a very fluid situation we're facing. There isn't one time that I don't get updates from numerous locations, from the county, from the state, and the federal government on ways as a school we should be addressing the COVID-19. Yesterday or the day before, depending on when you're looking at this video, many of you have probably seen an order from the Orange County Department of Health laying out some new guidelines and falling short of putting the county in a shelter in place. It was so close to that that the Department of Health had to come out later with an amendment to the original order stating that we are not in shelter in place, but reiterated the importance of having zero contact out in public. So within the order, there's a list of exemptions of what are considered essential. And the things that we are doing at Grace Christian School are under those guidelines of considered essential. The number one is supplying an online education in K through 12 format, which is exactly what we're doing. Online or distant learning is what they may be called, or providing daycare or preschool to students whose parents have essential jobs as outlined by the Department of Health. And the kids that we do have on campus currently are students of parents that have essential jobs. Those essential jobs go everything from first responders to people who work in the hospital to people who work in grocery stores. All of these individuals are considered important in order to keep our society moving ahead. So we are offering daycare and preschool to those individual families. We stated that from the very beginning, and under this order, we're allowed to continue that. Based on that, if you find that you are an essential worker and you are being called back to work in order to help things move along through this virus, and you want to send your child to daycare or preschool, you need to reach out to Mr. John Garius or Ms. Portmanilla and send them an email to make sure they know to expect your child so that we can have proper supervision and proper staffing on campus so that we can do the best for all of our students. In addition, in order to provide better cleaning and better management of this, we are moving daycare and preschool into rooms 26 and 27. Preschool, that's no different for you. We're splitting that room in half. Half will be preschool, half will be daycare, and that way we are able to keep things cleaner and a more healthy environment for everyone, as we just want to continue to focus on keeping all of our students and our staff safe at all times. I did give myself a list of notes here so I don't forget anything, so please forgive me if I'm glancing down and away from the camera. It's not that I'm getting distracted, it's that I want to make sure that I don't miss anything as I share this with you. There's a few additional things that we're changing, and that are some of the hours on campus. What's important to know is, what's important to know is what our new hours are going to be. Our teachers are going to be available to our students Monday through Friday, just like they always have been, but they will only be available to students on campus on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Those are the days they will be on campus. That is the same for our office. The office will only be available to the public on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays from 9 to noon. And we're finding that's an essential piece right now. Those times could switch a little bit, but the office will be replying to emails and doing those other things, as well as the teachers will be providing instruction on Monday and Fridays. It's just we will make sure that we have zero public contact on those days. Now, if your child is enrolled in the Opportunity Program or in speech, please reach out to Mrs. Rayford or Mrs. Fortune. Those classes are still going on, and you need to make sure your appointment time is scheduled. And we're asking just the student comes in, and when it's done, they meet the parent in the hallway and leave that way. And that seems to have been working very good this week. I thank all the parents who have been very cooperative in how they're dropping their children off for that and picking them up. You're doing an excellent job. In addition, we have created some new packets for all of you to pick up for your students. Those are in the office right now. So if you swing by the office today, at some point, you're able to pick that packet up. If you're not able to get by the office and you swing by and we're not there, you can go up to the daycare or preschool and knock on the door. They will provide you with the packet. Just tell them your student's name. They'll check you off the list and give you the packet. So that is something that you're going to be needing down the road. It's not needed this week. I want to let you know that our teachers are working extremely hard this last week, and since we've gone on to this modified schedule, as our office staff is also. They're putting in more hours now than when we do traditional schooling because they're having to come up with new ways to formulate their curriculum to be giving it all over a use of technology and get it into the devices of your students. In addition, we're struggling with everybody in the nation now using internet and not having smooth connectivity for the amount of uploads that we're doing. Even with that being said, it seems to be going very well across the board. I just want to commend all of our teachers and office staff on how hard they are working to put all of this together and also communicate with each of their students. They are coming up with a lot of new concepts and ideas that are driving home what they need to be learning on a daily basis. I'm looking at some of these on Google Classroom or the packets they've sent home. I'm very impressed with what they're doing. I'm also very impressed with what's going on with our students. With that being said, the office staff worked on something that's going to be a big win for all of our students. We are now going to be able to offer AR testing at home. And so that is going to be an opportunity for your child to do AR testing at home from their own device. That will be available once they receive an email from their classroom teacher with the parameters they set and the link that they will be giving them. Now, it's very important that they follow the same rules that they would follow at school for taking an AR test. Now, why do I say that? If they pull the book out and there's nobody there to see that they're looking up answers or something like that, it will have an adverse effect on them next year as they've gained additional AR points and moved up in levels. And then next year, it will make it that much harder for them to obtain their goals. Or when we come back and they are held back to the standard accountability, I would hate to see test scores drop because they're not able to use their books at that time. So parents, please encourage our students to make sure they follow good procedures when they take their AR tests. But this is a big win for us because that keeps you from having to bring a child in to take an AR test. And I'd like to thank Selena in the office for getting that all worked out with Renaissance, and then Jordan Milton in our technology department for getting that all rewired and set to get that link out to all of our students. So parents, that's some exciting stuff that's going to be coming in. Another group I want to thank is you, parents. We cannot thank you. We have been overwhelmed with the amount of positive emails, phone calls, and videos and notes that we're receiving from you and your students. Parents, you're touching the hearts of every one of our students, or every one of our parents, excuse me. They love your kids, and you guys are reaching out offering toilet paper, sanitary wipes, everything under the sun. Can we bring you coffee and drop it in the office? Parents, you're wonderful. And we appreciate that you know how hard our students, our teachers are working for you. And we're blessed to have such a partnership and such a great family that we've received so many positive phone calls from you. In addition, the teachers just love it when they get the emails and the videos from your students and wishing them well. And it really seems to be building a great bond there. And I encourage you as parents to continue to utilize this time at home to get closer with your kids. But once again, thank you so very much for all the kind words and the support that you're showing the entire Grace Christian School staff. We're truly blessed. Something great that's going to be coming out very soon is Mrs. Fulmer is going to be filming a couple of PE videos That's so that you can get up and start doing some exercises, start doing a few stretches in between your lessons or reading so that you stay active. And those are going to be some very fun videos to watch. Why are they going to be so fun and why are they going to be so important? Is because when you come back to school, you are going to have the opportunity to run Race for Grace. Yes, we still have Race for Grace coming. It may not look like any other Race for Grace, but when you get back, you're going to be doing your laps in PE with Mr. John Garris and Mrs. Fulmer, and they will be counting the laps. What our plan is, once we have all the restrictions lifted, we are going to have the giant celebration with all of our family and all of our friends. We're going to bring in the Carl's Jr. truck, the jumpers, and we're going to have Mr. Mark there with all of his fun games, and we're going to just celebrate what we've just gone through. So that's something big to look forward to. Now, you may ask, what happens if we can't quite do that until June or something? Well, if that's the case, we will bring everybody back in the summer for a family fun day, and that'll be a great opportunity. We'll be able to do even more things if it's like the first week or second week of June to be able to move forward. So I'm looking forward to that. Summer camp is still on the agenda. Miss Gasser is looking at ways of tweaking it if it's necessary as we get to that point and move forward. So summer camp, Camp Oasis is still being planned for, and we're still expecting that to happen. One of the other important things to know is the order from the Orange County Department of Health ends at the end of March, March 30th, when we're supposed to come back to school. I know some of you have probably listened to the governor, and he said he doesn't know if kids will even be back to school this year. I am on a group with other superintendents from private and public schools, and you need to know that many of the superintendents are looking at the bright side, and we all have communication with our departments of health and what they're looking at doing. And we do believe there's a good chance that we will be back this school year. I know we are slated to be back March 30th, and that might be a little conservative and a very wishful thinking now that we're into this a little bit further, but that's still what we're shooting for. So based on that, we have 2 more educational days this week, Thursday and Friday. Lesson plans and online learning will still be happening for all of our students this Thursday and Friday, and they'll be held accountable on Google Classroom or through their packets for the information that was sent home. Next week, March 23rd through March 27th, is spring break. We're going to call it Easter break, even though Easter's still in a few weeks away, but that's our spring Easter break next week. So there will be no instruction going on during that time. We want you students to enjoy your time, sit back, watch some videos, enjoy your family, and just take a chance to relax. Now, on Friday, March 27th, I will send out an email and another video if our start date of March 30th is going to change. If it does, we will move it 1 more week to April 6th, and that's what these packets in the office are for, so that we will be able to get through that next week of April 6th. Now, if you're not able to come by tomorrow or Friday to pick up those packets, you could come by on April 6th and get those. And those packets are primarily for TK through 3rd grade because our 4th through 8th grade are pretty much on Google Classroom. Now, our teachers are continuing to look at other ways to bring in new learning things. Zoom is something that we've been looking at, and I know a couple of you have emailed me. Brandon in junior high, thank you for talking to us about that. It is something, a medium that we have been looking at, and it's just a matter of making sure it would be something that would be able to work across our platforms, and that's where the difficulty sometimes comes in. So that's the information on that. Parents, that's basically where we are at this point. We're looking at coming back on March 30th. If that's not the case, on March 27th, I will be emailing you and letting you know how things will change. And we will extend out 1 more week to 4/6, and if I have to, we'll go another. But our teachers are actively doing everything to make sure your kids are engaged and that we will be ready when they get back to school to continue running and be ready for next school year. So that's what's happening on our campus. I want to remind you, if you are a single parent or a parent that works in an essential field and you're going to need childcare or you're going to need preschool, we're here for you. We want you to know that we will do everything possible to partner with you so that you're able to do your important task. And I just ask that you get in contact with Mr. Jongarius or Miss Portvanilla in preschool and let them know so that we can have proper staffing. That's all that we have right now. I know it's changing. We're going to continue to keep your families in prayer throughout this entire situation. I encourage you to occasionally step away from social media, step away from all the news so that you don't become overwhelmed. And please take some time to work with your children and sit down with them and do a temperature check with them and make sure they're okay. This is stressing a lot of people, and I just want to make sure you know that we're here for you. This isn't something you should be stressing about, and just keep your kids calm and allow them the opportunity to see some things and not get so involved in these adult situations. There's a Bible verse that we put out on front of the school today that we're really going to try to drive home to our community and to our students and everything. Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. Isaiah 41:10. Parents, what a great verse for all of us. We consider it a privilege to partner with you in educating your children. This is going to be something that we're going to be able to look back at, and hopefully we never see something like this again in our lifetimes, but we'll be able to share with our grandchildren, and they'll be able to share with their grandchildren about what happened in 2020. Parents, continue to keep the school in prayer. We'll continue to keep you in prayer, and stay safe and stay healthy. God bless you. Good evening.